So it was 9th of June 2017. I was 16 years old when I got my first paycheck, and it was of 104.58 US dollars. And by that time, that would be around 6,600 Indian rupees. So this was some. I got to know about this when I was returning from my JE tuition, and I just had to update my passbook, and so I did, and then I saw this. It was such a perfect day. So you might be thinking, what was it from exactly? Well, that was from blogging, and is it possible today? Because it has been like 6 years now. I think it is very much, and in fact, there are more. Like it has been easier now. It has become easier now. So I'll talk about all of this in this video and how exactly did I make my first money from blogging, and stick around. So first off, blogs are based on specific niches, and mine was on gaming and Clash of Clans in specific, actually. So I used to write articles about the best strategy, war strategy, what should you do when you should attack, the best town hall 9 map and all that stuff. I think we used to call them maps, right? I don't remember now. So it was about all that stuff, and I used to do this on a Blogspot blog. And Blogspot, in case you don't know, was Google's own blogging platform. And one day, I just asked my brother if I could buy a domain. A domain, if you don't know, like priyamraj.com, that's a domain. Google.com, youtube.com, those are domains. And so I got my own domain. It was 125 rupees for the first year, and it was a cheap deal. So I requested my brother and got it for me, and then I connected that domain to my blog, because without that, you have a free domain like something.blogspot.com. It just didn't look so good. And so that was my first ever, should I say, online purchase that way. So I connected my domain to the blog, and somehow all my strategies, everything started getting picked up on search engines, right? So people would search for like best town hall 9 map, and I would rank like third or fourth in that specific term on Google search, and that was like what brought me all the traffic. And then I found out about Google's AdSense. So Google's AdSense, in case you don't know, is just a way for bloggers. I mean, not just bloggers, content creators in general, to make money. And so I signed up for Google AdSense, and it got approved for my blog. It was another such a perfect day. Now, while the first paycheck was only 104 US dollars, down the line, I used to get more traffic. Like it was actually from a diverse amount of countries like India, US, basically everywhere. I was getting traffic from everywhere, and so the income was pretty stable actually. So I was averaging around 400 to 500 US dollars each month, and sometimes it was as high as $900. And I remember spending that all on building my gaming PC. It was fun actually. So how can you get started with something like blogging? Now, first off, you need a platform to blog on. Like there's a lot of platforms out there, for example, Medium, but I won't recommend something like Medium, because in that case, you are totally owned. I mean, your blog is totally owned by them, and plus they don't even have a program to like pay out their creators in a lot of countries like India, for example. Medium doesn't pay Indian writers, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if they have changed anything, but yes. But then there's platforms like Blogspot, and people often underestimate Blogspot and how pretty it can look with the right themes and the right config. So I would highly recommend you to try Blogspot, because it's completely free. Plus, it's kind of flexible enough for you to just uh, like use AdSense on. So try Blogspot, and then there's something more advanced like WordPress, and WordPress requires you to pay for a hosting, which would be each month, and only use something like WordPress if you really want to get into blogging and not just give it a shot, because WordPress is just the best. It's the like it is very flexible. It is you can do pretty much anything on it. So that's the first thing, and then the other thing is deciding your niche. I would just highly recommend you to choose a niche that you are actually enthusiastic about. This way, you would never have to like deal with. I mean, you would never have to deal with boredom. You would just have. You could just write about stuff that you're actually into. Plus, once again, you have Chat GPT. You can utilize it anytime you want to. And so that's the other thing. I would highly recommend you to join a Twitter community as well, because see, this is how I also um, like have been doing internet entrepreneurship for a long time. So like right now, if I am doing some stuff like SaaS startups, I would just search it on Twitter, find some communities, and look what people are doing there. So what you're trying to do here is I can call it niche blogging, or just create a niche website. So just search for this term called niche sites on the Twitter, or just something like niche site earnings, and then you would just find a lot of people trying to do the same thing as you, and then you would figure everything out. Plus, lastly, I would also like to tell you about this free ebook. I mean, it was not a free ebook. I wrote this back in 2020. It used to cost $10, but down the line, I just made it free. You can completely have it if you sign up to my newsletter from the link in the description. You would get an email where you can have a link for that ebook, and in that I have written a small portion, not just a small portion, an entire chapter on blogging and my experience with it. So that will be it. Before you go, how about checking out this video on how I made over $10,000 with just a single page website? Thanks for watching.